Let's do it.
We're back in the room. All right.
Back in the
Welcome,
room.
everyone. If you've been on TikTok, if you've been following us on TikTok, you should. I just put up a TikTok thingy
Post.
of my trip to the dentist. Now, this follows on from the fact that I found a system that worked, so I could brush my teeth several times a day, which was I've had real problems with like regular teeth cleaning. But I decided to, every time I went into the bathroom, I brushed my teeth without exception, and I actually ended up brushing my teeth about twice a day. So I'm on a 3-monthly hygiene schedule at my dentist place. So it's been about I've been consistently brushing my teeth for several times a day from the last visit to this visit. So I went to the dentist to see whether it made a difference and how much of a difference it made, if at all.
Right.
So I went. I mean, it was still tough. I mean, go and check it out on TikTok. It was still tough. I mean, we were talking to Michael recently about how tough going to the dentist is. And it's
at which point I've got a confession.
Okay.
Right.
Go on. Step
I've
into the booth.
It's the booth. I've been living in Italy. What a better place to better country to live in to go into confessional. I have not been to the dentist for 38 years.
Woo!
Woo!
Woo! I might have to take my glasses off and clean them, because that's how
Having
shocked
convinced myself that I'll go to the dentist when I damn well need to, and I haven't up to now. I've convinced myself of that.
Right.
I've convinced myself of that lie.
Right. That generally regular checkups are like.
Yeah. I don't know what toothache feels like. I am really lucky. I'm an ADHDer that is shit scared of going to the dentist, problems with personal hygiene. But luckily I have really, really strong teeth and don't know what toothache feels like. Never had it. Never had problems.
I think Tutankhamun died of his teeth. I think that's what got him.
Did he?
In the end. Yeah.
Did he?
Did he? Yeah.
Right.
That's what got him in the end. And you know what? It makes me think, because I've got fairly okay teeth. I'll say that.
Right.
Is that I'm thinking natural selection. Bear with me with this one, right? I'm thinking if you've got ADHD and going back in history, and your teeth high, and you don't really look after your teeth, I guess who did back then, but if you were worse than anyone else, then you generally you generally, like Tutankhamun, you'd end up with an abscess and then you just die off, right?
Right.
So I'm thinking maybe this is a fresh hypothesis, is that is
the freshest kind.
Right. Is that people with ADHD end up, the ones who survive and have kids are the ones who've got fairly good teeth, because all the others have died out.
Total nonsense, but I'm loving it. It is. Well, I do brush my teeth quite regularly. It's not a complete disaster.
Right.
Because in the end, I do actually like the sensation of having just cleaned my teeth. I love that sensation. Right. I like it.
So I have this system. I went to the dentist yesterday. She said it's like night and day. She said I had to check my notes that I was looking at the same person. She said,
right. And you said, how could you forget this face? How could you forget that face?
Beautiful face. And yeah, so she was kind of shocked, and so when I went in there, she said, have there been any changes? I went, no. So because what I wanted her to do was to kind of go around my teeth, and then so that afterwards I said, So, did you notice any difference? She said, yeah,
Right.
yeah. And then,
Okay.
so she was pleased. And then at the end of it, I mean, it was a horrendous experience, but actually she said, yeah, no, you're doing the right thing. In fact, she was more concerned that I was brushing my teeth too much now.
Okay.
Because she was like, how much toothpaste do you put on? Because it's quite a, because it can wear down the enamel. And I was like, about the size of a pea. And she said, no, it has to be like the size of a rice of grain. I mean,
really?
Okay. Yeah.
That's not obviously what the toothpaste manufacturers, they're like, yeah, just spread it on there.
No. Small amounts.
Hardly any.
Yeah. Hardly any.
A rice grain?
Yeah.
Oh my God. So an ordinary toothpaste. This is like we often start our podcast with these cliffhanger kind of moments. So so in theory, a toothpaste tube of toothpaste should last like 6 months.
Right. So this is if you're brushing your teeth like 2 or 3 times a day.
Right.
So the next, buoyed on by this dental triumph.
Buoyed on, yeah.
I've got an electric flossing machine.
A what?
An electric flossing machine, which over here would be called a water pick. So basically, it's like a little machine. When you put water in it, and it has a little. It squirts out water at a high velocity, and you kind of go around your teeth with this thing. So I've been trying that.
That sounds amazing, actually.
For the next, it's
high pressure water. Because I don't like the floss. I don't like the like string stuff.
No, I didn't like the strings.
It feels totally ridiculous to me. But you can do it with high pressure water.
Yeah.
Well, let's say it's the same machine you clean your driveway with.
Yes, it's like a little mini high pressure water thing that you clean your driveway with, but a little miniature one.
Right.
And yeah,
just cleaning moss off your teeth.
Yeah, basically.
Right.
So I usually go every 3 months for it, but she said, well, if you keep this up, I don't have to see you for 6 months.
That's great.
In 6 months' time, we'll have another podcast about this.
All right. And you're buoyed on yet again.
Right. The important
talking of
takeaway
buoyed on,
is that your health is important, and if you can find a system for it to improve it, it's worthwhile.
Well, the reactions were really positive. Should we buoy on to the intro music?
Absolutely. Let's welcome you to ADHDville.
Longest intro ever. But cool.
Sorry.
Hello, everyone. I'm Paul Thompson. I was formally invited 4 months ago into the ample and generous bosom that is the neurodivergent community at the sprightly age of 56 with ever-decreasing resistance to gravitational forces. Don't know why I wrote that, but yeah, just thought did.
That's part of your ADHD-ness, Paul. Just the weird, random little
fellow I am.
Love. Yeah. And I'm Martin West, and I was diagnosed with ADHD in 2013, quite a while ago.
Okay, all right. So we're just two mates who, by coincidence or not, after 39 years of friendship, discovered that we're both ADHDers. Okay, cool. Hurrah. Now, it's really important to say that this is an entertainment podcast about adult ADHD and does not substitute in any way, shape, or form for individualized advice from qualified health professionals. No, no, no. So
No.
don't take any advice from us.
None.
We're just here as a kind of all-inclusive ADHD park bench with room for everyone, including your doppelgangers, your alter egos, your body doubles, your chaperones, and your best buddies. Still here, great. Grab your jetpacks, your pedalos, your space hoppers, or any other transportation methods, and let us take you to ADHDville, an imaginary town that we've created in our minds, where we like to explore different parts of the A, the D, and the H, and another D.
Lovely. And we start off, as always, here at the town hall in the mayor's office, where we, the joint mayors of ADHDville, take care of business. And this is, and I'm looking at the agenda, and there's just one item on this week's list. It's where we're talking about all things ADHD stimming. Stimming. I don't even like the word. I don't like the word. I don't like the word. I don't like the word, Paul.
Do you have talking about words, Martin? Don't worry, it's just me and you. No one else is listening.
Okay,
right?
That's true.
Right. Do you have certain words? Oh, I just realised it's very similar. I have a problem with a certain word, and my son always makes fun of me about it. Trimmings. And it's similar to stimmings. Yeah, I have a problem with the word trimmings. It really winds me up. I have no idea why, but it does. It's like someone says, "Oh, why don't we have a nice, like, beef roast dinner with all the trimmings?" I'm already out the door. You know, I'm like, I show a clean pair of heels.
How do you feel about the American version, which is how about a beef meal with all the fixings?
You're kidding me.
No.
Fixings. That's a bathroom.
Fixings.
It's like fixtures and fittings. That's a bathroom. Like, fixtures and fittings.
I'll have a hot dog with all the fixings. So the fixings, right? Okay. Because obviously the thing that you were going to eat is useless and is busted and it needs fixing with it needs fixing with ketchup or mustard or onions or whatever. Okay. Yeah, there we go.
Okay, there you go.
All right, so we're going to talk about
we're talking about stimming,
and we're going to head over to where are we heading, Paul? Where are we going?
We're going to the farm, Martin. We're going to the farm. We're going down to the farm. It's a bit muddy at the moment for this time of year.
Oh God!
But we'll put the wellies on. I think we've got wellies in the boot of the car.
We've got boots in the trunk of the automobile. Let's jump into
your wellies are the same pattern as your swimming cap, just so they match.
They are. I know. Well, you know, I do like a fun welly. All right, let's jump in the car and head over to the farm.
Here we go. Okay.
There we go. Just breathe in that nice farm air. Yeah. When I visited James' farm a couple of weeks back, had that unmistakable farm smell. That I just love that. Love that.
Do you know what I really love when I travel back to Old Blighty? I feel really. The thing I like most is the plane. It comes. You hop over from France. You go over the Channel. You see the coast, and then you see the way the farms and the countryside is laid out. It's uniquely British with the hedgerows.
Lovely.
All the farms are like organised in squares and rectangles. Probably got something to do with my ADHD mind. Whereas in England, it's completely chaotic. You know, the farms are built around, the fields are based around ancient pathways and things.
Right. Yeah.
So
No.
they're
But
naturally formed.
yeah.
Love that.
All right.
Love that.
Stimming.
Anyway,
What is
stimming.
stimming?
Shall I read
Who's
this?
gonna go? Go for it.
We've got a bit of a description up here, Martin.
Yeah,
It says,
relax.
yeah, just chill. Just chillax. ADHD stimming, okay, in brackets, stimulatory behavior is when a person with attention deficit hyperactivity disorder unconsciously repeats certain movements or sounds. Some ADHD stimming examples include humming, pacing, teeth grinding, and rocking, though there are many, many others which we will
So
explore. So many. The reasons for stimming can vary depending on the person and their environment. It's thought that in ADHD, these behaviors may come from a need to improve or regulate focus, self soothe, or channel energy. It's kind of interesting, isn't it, already?
Right. So it's all those
Okay.
little physical things that you do, right? It's all those little kind of,
Yeah.
all vocal things. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because
Yeah,
it's
I've
to
got
me,
loads.
I think of it as like it's like an extension of nervous energy that I have, and it kind of like exudes. It kind of like
Exude.
it's like oozes out of me at some point.
Right.
Yeah,
So there are some examples, right, in ADHD that are grouped together by type, I believe.
that's right, Martin. Have you got a
Wow.
list?
I might have a small script that you sent me earlier that I'm reading.
Okay. So first, but what the bullet pointed one?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. The first one we got what 5? I think. Yep.
Yep.
Visual. So zoning out, spinning in brackets, spinning objects like coins, or fidget toys, pacing, or doodling. Okay.
Okay, so that's a
But it
visual
could also be
zoning out, right? Okay,
yeah.
got
But it
it.
can also
Got
be
it.
verbal or auditory, giggling, singing, making repetitive sounds, excessive throat clearing.
All right.
Mm.
Yep. All right. Got that.
So then,
Verbal. All right.
then it could be
Auditory. Yeah.
tactile or touch, nail biting, scratching, hair pulling. I've put that one in bold because I'm going to talk about it later. Bit embarrassing, but anyway, I'm going to talk about it anyway. Or hair twirling, chewing the inside of your cheeks, and not anyone else's. It would be your own cheek, I suspect. Teeth grinding.
Sexy time.
Sexy time. Stop it. Because I'm sorry, Bud, because I'm going to lose it. I'm really tired. No, don't stop it.
Good-o.
Teeth grinding, rubbing fingers. Yeah, I'm all over the place this evening. Rubbing fingers. Okay. Presumably your own. No, don't. And there's also vestibular, which is balance based. So it could be rocking, spinning, and shaking of the head.
All right.
Martin, somewhat controversially, I say controversially, maybe not for our listeners. Smell.
Right.
I've never heard of stimming being related to
this
smell.
Is,
You're going to change my mind.
Well, this is so smelling can help calm people's nerves. It says that it often involves sniffing items that have a particular scent. For example, this might be the smell of perfume, your loved ones, or the familiar scent of freshly washed clothing. Now, this one ticked a little box for me because I find myself I will smell the back of my hand for no reason other than it's like a little stim that I have.
Okay.
I don't I don't know why, but yeah. Okay, so there's some examples by group and
Okay. Oh man, I'm going to find out some stuff again, aren't I? God,
of course, that's all
Wow.
this is. This is finding out stuff.
Yeah,
Finding out stuff.
digging it up.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
I think the important thing for a podcast or whatever is like, or when you're discussing it with your friends is you have to dig a bit, right? You have to
Yeah.
you,
It feels
you
like
have to kind of pull stuff
ADHDville
out.
should have its official digger, like big ass digger that you could just like rent for the day.
Yeah,
It's just like
yeah.
tell them where to dig. It's like just go and dig over there, mate.
Well, that's why we're on the farm, right? Because we can get
Yeah,
the tractor to kind of get to dig some stuff out of us about
exactly.
stimming. All right,
Maybe
so
so. Find
you
some
have a
truffles.
small list.
I do,
You need
Martin.
pigs for that.
Yeah, apparently. Yeah, I had a neighbour once that had a dog specifically trained for sniffing out truffles.
Oh
I
yeah,
had a
nice.
Yeah, I had a place in the Tuscan Hills, and yeah, it's not very nice though because they don't feed their dogs for like 2 weeks, so it's really quite unpleasant.
Oh,
Yeah, it's not nice, not nice at all. Anyway, so I've
boo.
got me stimming. Oh, I've not talked about this one on air before, in the room or whatever
I love
you
it.
want to
I
call
love
it.
these
I'm
moments.
just
Go
He
for it.
says, just delaying this moment for myself. I pull
I
my
can start
hair,
if you
I
want.
pull my beard. I
Mm-hmm.
pull my beard like a total bitch, and it's horrendous. And I can't. I'm totally not in control of it. At a certain point, I have to shave off my beard because it's like enough. I can't handle it anymore. And
Oh
I've pulled
wow.
out so much of my beard that it's getting patchy and not
Ah,
in control of it at all. No
all right.
control.
So I will pull. So if I'm stressed, if I'm going through a stressful period, I will pick the hairs
Yeah,
on my eyebrows.
yeah,
Not so much, not so much the beard, and I can always tell. Like if I look at myself in the mirror and I've got like some long eyebrow hairs, I'm like, oh,
hmm
I must be going through a fairly
yeah.
stress-free patch
Yeah,
because
as my grandmother used to say, it was a phrase you were going through.
it was a nice phrase I was going through. All right, so we've got hair pulling, uh,
Yeah, but I used to
and
do
then
hair
what
pulling
else you
from
got?
my head, from my head as well. I used to
All
have
right,
stopped. Strangely,
okay,
I moved on to the beard.
all right.
Yeah, yeah, it's much better pickings. Clearly, it's quite literally
Oh, oh
lower
dear.
hanging fruit. Literally
Right,
lower hanging fruit.
and you might find a bit of lunch in there as well, which is a bit of a bonus.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. It is a bonus. Depends how good your lunch is. But then, what else did I used to stop my knee from bouncing at school. This is linked to masking. I used to sit on my leg, so the knee would bounce, 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 if I would let
Yeah,
it. Yeah,
yeah,
and at school,
yeah,
that's not good. It's like no, no, just like suppressing all my masking energy was
yeah.
spent on suppressing all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I know that my wife, if she gets tired in the evening, so when you get in the evening, like her legs starts to kind of bounce around, and then it's like, yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
you're tired now. So she kind of
right,
does that, I guess,
okay,
to
yeah. But I
self
think you're right
regulate.
though. Just like my beard pulling, it kind of shows up when I'm kind of stressed or tired or both.
Yeah, no, I think that's like like how we say that we're sometimes not very good at telling what our own
Mm,
internal emotions are, right?
mm-hmm.
That we can't really tell how we feel some of the times.
Mm-hmm.
So things like stimming are a very good way to kind of tell what is going on
Yeah,
inside. So I
yeah.
find, yeah, that if I'm pulling my eyebrows, for example, I
Mm.
know that I'm very stressed. Like
I
that's
know that I'm stressed when I've got a pretty much one-sided beard because I'm quite a strong emphasis on this side.
right.
Yeah, and sometimes I have to even up on this side
Yeah,
by
okay.
having a shave.
Right.
It's actually true. That wasn't just for comic effect.
No. I know. No, I get it. I think it's
Well,
it's
because I'm
because
right-handed, so it makes sense.
right. I was going to say
It's a
because I have the
logic.
same thing with my eyebrows, and it tends to be,
Right.
because I'm right-handed, so my left eyebrow gets the brunt of it.
The brunt of it. Okay. Okay. So then, what else have I got here? I've got, when I'm on the phone, I pace the room like nobody's business. I cannot sit still when I'm on the
Mm-hmm.
phone. It's really, really hard for me to sit and be on the phone to someone. I literally pace up and down the room.
Yeah. No, I mean, I found that when I was giving presentations in the room, it was way better if I stood up and
Yeah.
did it, so I could walk
Yeah.
around, and that felt a lot better
Yeah.
for me. Kind of kept my anxiety down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Also,
And preferably,
in
yeah.
the meetings, I doodle in my notepad so that
Yeah.
I can concentrate on what other people are saying. And I can remember my boss was like, she could see me doing it, and she was like, "Stop that!" And she was annoyed because she thought that I was doing it because I wasn't paying attention, when
Okay.
actually I was. In order to pay attention to her, I had to doodle, so that part of my brain was kept occupied.
Yeah.
The crazy part of my brain was kind of occupied doing these little scribbles, and I could actually pay attention to her.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I've tend to avoid it. I've tend to avoid it. Hey, Martin, how does it? I notice when I'm talking, the
Yeah,
sound is
yeah.
not like yours is much more violent. You're seeing your sound wave. You've got a much more violent sound wave, Martin.
Oh
Anyway,
well, actually,
I just
when
hope
I
it's
look on
recorded
my,
properly.
yeah, no, when I look, yours is much more violent than mine.
Okay, it's just something. Anyway, okay. Yeah. So I tend to be. Well, I'm kind of so overly conscious about people pleasing and not kind of like showing up that I kind of stop myself doodling, even though the temptation is huge, huge,
Huge.
huge. How about you, Martin? How about what have you got any stimming particulars?
Well, we've kind of been through a bunch. Obviously, there's some classics like I like to have a pen in my hand
Yeah.
when I'm talking. So yeah, we go. We both have a pen.
Yeah.
That's kind of nice. Or
Oh, do you remember
it's like a fidget toy.
last week? Last week you said to me, um, that there's a constant clicking noise,
Oh yeah.
and and it's like what? And I said no, I don't do that. And you said, Paul, mate, it's like because Martin he does puts the edits together. He said there's constant clicking through all of the podcasts, and I kind of looked down myself. Oh yeah, I do that. I actually do that, clicking constantly
Yes.
the tops of the pens.
Right. Yeah. Like all of my all of my sharpies. I don't know when I'm just holding up to the camera, but it has this little
Oh yeah,
on the pen cap. It has this little piece of plastic that
yeah.
you're supposed to use to kind of you could you could put it on your belt. I don't know what is it like. You're supposed to put it in your
Belt.
you're supposed to put it in your breast pocket, right? It's like a little clip, right?
Right.
You know what? I'm now
Man.
thinking like it'd be great if I had a belt that was just full of harpies of all
Yeah.
from fat to thin. So I was always
Yeah.
prepared.
Oh,
But
they're
these,
organised as well, are they?
yeah, of course. Well, they start out the day as organised and they get to chaos. But the little pen clip of this is broken off because I'll just play with it and then it'll break at
Okay.
some point.
All
And then the
right.
other embarrassing thing is when I was in a meeting, I'd be playing with the pen, and then the pen shoots off. Right, you're just like twirling it, and then it kind of goes bling, and
Okay.
it flies out your hand onto the floor, and you're like,
Okay.
"Oh Christ, my
Okay.
pen's on the floor." Now I'm going to have to like dig around under the desk
Yeah. Yeah.
while
Yeah.
everyone's watching me
But
to retrieve my pen for the
are you
20th time.
a nail biter?
I used to be, not so much now, but
Yeah.
yeah.
No, I'm not. Are you a fire starter? Twisted fire starter?
Is there any other kind?
No, I don't bite my nails either. In fact, I've had girlfriends actually. It's actually annoyed them that I have long, not long. They never get particularly long, but sometimes have like fairly long nails just because I don't bite them. For some
Right,
people, it's a problem. Apparently,
right. Yeah. No.
boys with long nails.
Oh wow. Yeah. So I think like there's all kinds of different stimming, right? And some of it, like when you kind of get more into the autistic side, you get from level 1, 2, and 3. You like the stimming part is more what do you call it? It's kind of more obvious. That'd be like lots of sort of hand waving, flapping.
Right.
I think is
Yeah.
a classic stuff. And then it's there's a whole bunch which is like, I don't know, semi-socially acceptable, I guess. And then there's some that if you start happily stimming and it's quite
Yeah.
obvious, then you're out in public and then people start to
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
look and go, what the hell?
Yeah. Because it's really funny because I started teaching last week, and I was teaching today actually, and I was noticing some of the students. I've really noticed like, oh, stimming going on all over the place in the class, bouncing knees. Especially if I go up to them, I teach them conversation English, and so they're a bit nervous. It's like, they've like put on the spot. You say, oh, let's talk about what was it today? Oh, we talked about how what was it we talked about? Oh, I got them to introduce themselves because they're kind of new to each other, and yeah, so it's really funny. And there's one girl who's off the charts. Off the charts,
Right.
it's really, really, really fascinating to watch, knowing what I know now about stimming.
Right.
Yeah,
Oh man, I used to hate
yeah.
in meetings when someone would go, "Let's go around the table and introduce ourselves." Like, oh fuck it up! I hate this.
Yeah,
I hate
yeah.
this. It's coming
Mate,
round. It's
I've
coming
done
round
it.
to me. It's coming round to me.
Yeah.
It's coming. Oh no, it's me. Oh, the spotlight's on me. I've got to
I've done it
perform.
14 times this week. I've introduced myself to my students 14
Right.
times, and I'm done with that now. It's like, okay, enough.
Oh man, I hate that. I hate that. So I mean, like, there is, like, so there is happy stimming, right? So there's like, well,
Yes,
what you
yes.
call happy stimming. You have where people with ADHD may also engage in happy stimming. This type of stimming done
Hooray.
to express happiness rather than as a way to improve focus or impulse control.
Yeah.
So I guess this is
And that-
like right, happy stimming.
Yeah, I've got a few.
All right, hit it.
Yeah.
Hit me
I've
with
got
your
some weird
stimming
ones.
stick.
Well, you might be you might be familiar with this, having worked with each other and stuff. I do castanets. I do this. It's a bit of a visual thing. Sorry if you're not watching this on
Right.
YouTube.
It looks like
you'll
you're
be able to
playing
hear me.
castanets. All right. Blimey.
I do that.
Okay.
Then I do hand farting. I go,
Okay.
and then I
Right.
do hand popping. I do.
Oh wow.
And people used to say to me, Paul, are you autistic? We're going back 30 years. They say, Paul, are you autistic? And generally, I do these things when they're happy things. Usually, because, Martin's the same. I'm in the creative business. If I just found an idea and I was really happy with it, so I was preparing a presentation to a client, and I found an idea and I've put it down, and I would get up and I would generally do one of those three
Oh wow,
things.
amazing!
Yeah, and people look at me like, "What the hell is going on with Paul?" Yeah,
Right.
happy still.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Yeah. But like it's the important thing is that it's just to remind ourselves that it's self-regulation, right? It can get rid of anxiety, or it can
Right.
or energy.
Yeah.
So it's important to kind of find what sort of stimming you do, and can you do it with the people you're with, or in the environment that you're in, and it's just a kind of good to kind of where you can do it and you feel happy and you're safe to, you should, because it kind of just it just lets off all of that
Yeah.
negative stuff, and it's actually quite important. I'm just trying to think of
Well,
happy stimming.
usually I do one of those three things when I've come out the other side of a tunnel of like hyper focus. So that
Right.
thing that works. Yeah, exactly that.
Yeah, because you've got this kind of nervous excitement in you, right? That
Yeah.
has to come out somehow.
I've spent a few spoons.
Right. You spent a few spoons, and you're happy, and you want to. So, like, happy dancing. I do that quite a lot. When there's.
Do you?
Yeah, like when it's
Can
like.
you give us an
good,
example?
Like, yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Have a little boogie in your seat or whatever. I know that some people will quite happily put on some music and just dance around the room. Lovely.
I sometimes do the T-Rex arms
All right.
in those situations. It's like, yeah.
All right.
Like that.
That sounds like a self. Is that when you're feeling anxious and you're kind of because it
No, it's
feels
the
like
opposite. It's another happy stim.
all right.
Yeah, yeah.
Cool.
It's a happy T-Rex.
Nice. All right. All right. So I know that there's like big on TikTok is like stim toys, right? Like they're everywhere. Like you see people with them,
and they're all specific. If you're like a hair puller like me, you can get a specific toy for that, but also some other types. Oh, loads of them. Do they work?
Well,
I guess we have to try them.
I was gonna say this does sound like there should be a podcast episode where we do a bit of a roundup, a review of.
I think what you mean is this is the point where we set each other homework and we completely ignore them or forget about them or both.
Maybe, but I'm gonna try and remember this conversation.
Yeah.
But I gave my wife some for Christmas. It was like it's called thinking putty. Like it's like a real squashy.
Yeah.
Remember that slime stuff, but it isn't slime, but it's quite. But she's been playing with that a lot. Like when she's in a meeting, she was squish that around. I did buy a fidget spinner when it came out. Like you remember when they were all the rage a good few years ago now. I never got on with it particularly.
Right.
I had this little cube thing that had like on each side of the cube it had like little sensory things, and one had a bump and one was a clicker, and you could just kind of play with that in your hands, and that was okay for a while.
The Rubik's Cube was a kind of stimming relief kind of thing for some.
Yeah, that sounds like a thing.
Neural types going on there that are particularly good at those.
Yeah,
I wasn't one of them.
Kind of like...
Okay, but yeah, I mean, toys are obviously meant to like help you out on certain types of stimming, because there can be stimming that can either be harmful if you're putting out a lot of hair, there are some people that have that. It's not something to be laughed about at all. I know we've been, you know, talking about the kind of the humorous side of these things. Actually, for some, it's not at all. So these
Yeah,
toys
because
could be, they're more than toys. They can actually really, really help people's lives.
oh yeah, yeah, no,
Um,
like I see people who have lost, who lose one of their favorite little stim toys, and it's a big deal.
yeah.
Um,
Same with
I'm just
teeth grinding. It can cost a hell of a lot of money
oh
to
yeah,
sort that kind of stuff out.
yeah,
Not
and
good.
then you've got like some people pick their skin. Um,
Hmm.
I know, like I've had a patch on my tummy um, for a while that I was picking at, um,
Yeah.
and that wasn't good. And then I actually went to the UK for a week, and then I I just stopped
Oh, that's weird.
doing it, and then it's all fine now.
Yeah.
So
Because I've
uh,
had that. I had a thing on my ankle, and I was constantly picking at it. God damn it! And I think it was exactly the same. I had like an event, like I was traveling somewhere, forgot about it. I was distracted, I suppose, in whatever I'd been doing, and it's like, oh, I got it resolved because it wasn't there anymore. Yeah,
right,
I definitely get the picking thing
right.
is
Yes, so
yeah,
there's some stimming that is, I hate that word, which is kind of harmless, and then there's some that actually does need, does need
yeah,
attention because it can actually hurt you really.
yeah.
Um,
But I wonder if, because last week we talked about masking, I wonder if for some people, I mean, I'd be interested to get people's feedback on this. If people start to unmask, whether their stimming can become more pronounced, more obvious.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely, yeah,
yeah.
for sure. Like that's probably
But
one of
like
the
really
biggest
so,
visual. Yeah,
because
no, I think
the adult ADHD UK podcast, who are great, by the way. They're amazing. One of the reasons why I'm doing this podcast, because they kind of inspired us to kind of like put our kind of version, kind of voice out there on our particular view approach to ADHD. They're great, but the lovely lady in that, Mrs. called Mrs. ADHD. Her her stimming is just off the scale. It's amazing to watch, absolutely amazing, and she
oh
seems
wow.
completely cool with it, which is great.
Right. Yeah. No. No. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah, yeah.
perfect. So, I've got a couple
Right.
of strategies uh, here. So, if your stimming kind of leads to physical injuries, um, then perhaps there's a couple of tips here from ADD.org um,
Mm,
that you could try. So one is schedule 10-minute movement breaks in between long tasks. So
okay.
so like that
Hmm.
physical thing of getting up and moving around, yeah, is important. God, if you're in a 2 hour meeting,
Right.
that's like the
Oh
worst.
God.
Like you're trapped in
Oh,
a room full of
meetings.
people.
I don't miss meetings.
Yeah,
I do not miss meetings. Okay. Yeah, it's not start. Don't
right.
start me off on those. All right. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Good. It's
that's
good. Yeah, because it's a way of expending energy in some way.
yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's yeah, I think that's one of the ones to be yeah, that you can help with that. I don't really have much else apart from that, or
Yeah.
apart from yeah, like
Okay.
if you feel like your stimming disrupts your daily life, then it's important to
Mm.
seek help. And there is help out there
Mm.
online. Um,
I mean, there was. I made fun of a bit about my beard and stuff. There was an element of shaming in that. I must admit, it's like, oh, for God's sake, Paul, it feels like self harming.
Yes.
Before I got diagnosed, it's like, am I self harming? It's like, Paul, what the hell's that about? What are you doing that for? Or
Yeah.
self sabotaging? It's like, oh, blimey.
Yeah.
Overthinking it.
Yeah. Because oh yeah, my big one is what the hell am I talking about? I just realized my big one is I suck my thumb.
Uh
Um
huh.
and have done for my entire life. I'm
Right.
in my late 50s now, and that's a way that
Yeah.
I regulate
Oh
myself.
wow.
And
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
and the and there's a lot of shame around that. There's a lot of shame around that. Um,
Yeah.
as you can probably guess. And
Yeah.
I, where was I going with that? Apart from just saying that,
I would always
um,
talk about shame generally.
yeah, no, and oh yeah, is this everyone would be, and you probably uh, attest to this. People will want to find a solution to the stim that you're doing,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
They will go, right, well, what you should do is if you don't want to suck your thumb, you should like paint your thumb in this horrible tasting stuff or whatever it was. Or if you
Cut
should,
your thumb off.
you should you shouldn't pull your hair. Perhaps what you should do is
Yeah.
sit on
Yeah.
your hands or something else, so that they try and find a solution to the stim, where
Yeah.
actually the real issue is the anxiety that
Yeah.
is
Exactly.
causing
I
the stim.
I'd sometimes
And
put gloves on to stop me from, and it's like it's
right,
ridiculous.
well, yeah,
It's
I mean,
because until you know what it is, overthinking it. It's like, oh, Paul, what the hell,
right. I
Yeah.
mean, sure, gloves might help just stopping it immediately from getting really worse, but actually, that isn't the gloves will never be the solution,
No.
right? It's
No.
it's the underlying anxiety that you have to deal with. So, what is going on there? So, you have to look at like what is going on in your
Yeah.
life. Like, is there
Mm,
anxiety? Is there stuff that you're trying to avoid? Have you got enough sleep? There's all
yeah.
this stuff you have to look at, and
Yeah.
then if you can start to deal with that, then you almost use your stimming and how it comes up
Hmm.
as a way to work out, are things improving? Do you feel less anxiety? Are you pulling
Yeah.
out your hair less? Are
Hmm.
my eyebrows not bald? Um,
Yeah.
you know, and you kind of use that as a way to kind of work out what is going on
Mm,
underneath the surface.
yeah. It's like we say sometimes on our podcast, we're not always about, coming up with solutions about it. We're not that kind of podcast, not that kind of YouTube channel. It's not like we've got to always have solutions for everyone. But we can. Sometimes the thing to do is just at least start somewhere. If it's something you would prefer not to do, start by you've already started along on the right road. You've been maybe diagnosed or self-diagnosed. You gave it a name, and you can think about it from a caring place, which is always a good start. And sometimes that's more than enough to at
Yeah,
least begin that
yeah.
different
I
way of
think it is
looking at it.
like I'm doing this thing. Is it helpful? Is it harmful? If
Yeah,
it's harmless, then fine.
yeah,
If it's harming you, then take note of it, and then you take note of it. What else is going on in your life, so that you can kind of is
yeah,
does it match up? Are you doing
yeah,
it more during when certain things happen, and then you
yeah.
can start to kind of
Exactly.
work out what a solution might look like.
Yeah, it's like what you always say, Martin, at the end of the podcast. Just be fucking kind to yourselves.
Oh yeah,
It's,
yeah,
it's,
yeah.
it's sometimes it's more than enough.
Oh yeah,
It's
no, I mean,
more. It's
yeah,
way. It's just really. It's really
it's
enough sometimes.
yeah, right, because it's very easy, as you were saying earlier, to feel shame about it because it's a very outwardly facing thing, so other people can see it, and then you're thinking, right, well, how are they judging me for having half a beard or sucking your thumb, or you've got one eyebrow, like, or
all three.
Right. And you're thinking, oh
mess.
God, they must think what a mess this person is, And so, but no, it's just a part of ADHD, and
deal with it in your own way.
Just be kind to yourself. All right. Well, cool. I think that's a kind of good amount. Is there anything else you want to say before we jump?
I think that's great. I think that's a good point to. I don't think we've got anything at the post office this week, Martin.
Yeah, we do.
Oh, yes, we do.
Let's jump in the cab. Let's jump in the cab and go. If you could if we could just mind to, we'll have to take our wellies off so we don't traipse mud into the into the thing. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Especially because my girlfriend's just got a thing about mud. All right. So we're at the post office. So it says here that your feedback is really vital to us. Of course it is.
It is.
We read all of the comments, and we might read yours out on a future podcast. So your contributions are very much very, very, very much welcome.
So
like this one, we've got one. We've actually got one this week. From Penny Smith from North Yorkshire. Lovely lady. She's a really lovely lady. She just said really simply, I love your podcast, which is amazing.
Absolutely. And you can follow her on TikTok. I think she's Penny Smith OG. Yes. No, 09. Sorry.
09. Okay. OG. Lovely lady. And
I wrote it down wrong.
And she puts up some really cool things on the TikToks.
Absolutely. All right. So it just remains for me to say ADHDville is delivered fresh every Tuesday from all purveyors of fine podcasts. Please subscribe to the pod and rate us most marvelous. Feel free to correspond at will in the comments. But wait, there is more. If you want to see our beautiful faces,
is this more, Martin? There's more.
There is sally forth to the YouTubes, and if you're seeing us on YouTubes, you can listen to our beautiful voices on the regular podcast. And you can also email us at
some voices are more beautiful than others, obviously.
Right. Yeah. Not mine. You can email us at ADHDville at gmail.com. All right. So that just remains for us to dance our way out of the podcast. Visit us on TikTok, YouTube, the Cupboard of Friends, Facebook, Instagram. But in the meantime, just be fucking kind to yourself.
And I beseech you, fellow ADHDers, know thyselves, sons of the hounds, come hither and get your flesh.
There, says the mayor. That's that.